way. The fire has already scorched at least 2 homes and threatened some 2,500 more.
I'm Stephen Kaufman in Boise. It's been an unusually difficult fire season, says Mike Ferris at the National Interagency Fire Center, where decisions are being made based on priorities.
Those resources that are in demand are allocated based on the greatest risk to life and property.
The Western fire season will likely last at least 6 more weeks.
In San Diego, it's down to the final hours for the city's mayor. CBS's Steve Futterman has the latest on the crisis at City Hall.
The pressure has been growing for weeks for Mayor Bob Filner to resign. By the end of the day, those who want him out may have their wish. The proposed deal must be approved by the city council. It's believed the agreement calls for Filner to step aside. In exchange, the city will cover some of the mayor's financial obligations, such as legal fees. Councilmember David Alvarez.
There's going to be some costs associated to the city, and that's the unfortunate part of this. The upside to all of this is that this chapter of the city's history will come to an end.
Not everyone is pleased. Attorney Gloria Allred represents some of the mayor's accusers.
There should be no payoff for Mayor Filner.
This resident also doesn't like the idea of taxpayers' money going to the mayor, but
that would be better than his staying in office.
Steve Futterman, CBS News, San Diego.
President Obama's made comments about the reports of a chemical attack this week in Syria. We're live in Washington with CBS's Barry Bagnano.
Could this push the U.S. to get more involved in Syria?
This is clearly a big event of grave concern.
President Obama said on CNN's New Day. It was 1 year ago this week he declared chemical weapons use there would cross a red line. He has been criticized for not acting on that implicit threat after the U.S. confirmed there had been chemical attacks. Today he suggested this new incident may be more definitive, but he wants proof.
We've called on the Syrian government to allow an investigation of the site because UN inspectors are on the ground right now. We don't expect cooperation, given their past history.
Live in Washington, Barry Bagnetto, CBS News.
After a phone call with Secretary of State Kerry, Russia's foreign minister is calling for an independent investigation into the apparent chemical attack. Moscow has been an ally of the Assad regime. And the UN says 1 million Syrian children are now refugees because of the country's prolonged civil war. Well, plenty of attention's focused on Wall Street, where NASDAQ futures are up 2 points, and the immediate future is loaded with questions for the NASDAQ after yesterday's 3-hour trading halt caused by a computer glitch. CBS News business correspondent Anthony Mason.
This is a significant blow to confidence in the markets, which have had now a series of computer trading problems. And with more and more trades being executed, through computer trading, it's obviously a concern for the system.
The NASDAQ says it vows to work with other exchanges to investigate. A military jury at Fort Hood, Texas, returns for a second day of deliberations in the case of Major Nidal Hassan in the 2009 massacre. Reporter August Skamenka is covering.
So far, the jury has only requested the testimony of Sergeant Mark Todd, a Fort Hood police officer who shot and paralyzed Major Hassan. Some legal observers still expect a quick return on the verdict, and if it comes later today, Judge Colonel Tara Osborne could move immediately to the penalty phase, expected to last at least 4 or 5 days.
Jurors worked for just over 3 hours yesterday. Las Vegas police have arrested 2 men who allegedly were plotting to kidnap officers, put them on trial, and execute them in a vacant house. The 2 were thought to be part of what's known as the Sovereign Citizens Movement. As football's New England Patriots prepare for the upcoming season, former star Aaron Hernandez is preparing for a trial. The former Pro Bowl tight end was indicted yesterday in the murder of a semi-pro player. His attorney, Michael Fee, seems to suggest his best defense is a good offense.
We are now pleased with the indictment that will put us on a path towards trial. There has been an incredible rush to judgment in this case.
One of Aaron Hernandez's cousins is charged with contempt. She refused to testify before the grand jury that indicted him. In a statement, baseball superstar Ryan Braun admits taking performance-enhancing drugs and has apologized to fans. And Braun, who's serving a 65-game suspension, reveals he doped during his 2011 MVP season. Milwaukee Brewers fans reacted at Miller Park.
You can't completely forgive him, and I don't think his career will ever be the same again.
He said he was past embarrassed, and I think the Brewers should be past Braun. They ought to trade him.
In the statement, Braun says he made serious mistakes and has no one to blame but himself. At the movies, Michael Keaton is among the actors who've played the Caped Crusader.
I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
The next Batman will be Ben Affleck. He's been picked to star in the movie that starts shooting next year, bringing Batman and Superman together. Well, there was some heart-stopping excitement in West Carrollton, Ohio. It began badly when 37-year-old mechanic Tony Yaley was declared dead. His heart had stopped beating. 45 minutes later, when nurses were preparing him to be seen by his family, he started showing signs of life. 5 days later, he woke up, and now he's talking about it.
It definitely strengthened my faith, my family's faith, everybody I know's faith.
This is all new ground for his doctor, Raja Nazir.
I've never seen it. Actually, I've never heard of it.
The guess is Yaley suffered some kind of viral infection. 2 years ago today, much of the East Coast shook. An unusually strong earthquake was unnerving and damaging, especially in the nation's capital. WTOP Radio's Andrew Mullenbeck has an update on repairs.
The Washington Monument is closed and remains boxed in by scaffolding. The target date for reopening? Next spring. Stephen Lorenzetti at the National Park Service.
The hardest part was really to get on the building, to rappel down to find out what the damage actually was, come up with a repair plan.
Patching up the National Cathedral will take a lot longer. Andrew Hullinger oversees the finances.
We expect that the interior restoration, that work will take as much as 18 months.
Andrew Mullenbeck for CBS News, Washington.
The quake caused more than $200 million in damage along the East Coast and forced many cities to review building codes. And that's the World News Roundup for Friday. The broadcast is produced by Paul Ferry. I'm Steve Kathan, CBS News.
This September, our state lawmakers have the opportunity to make history.
Because for the first time in nearly 100 years, Missouri can stop spending and start growing.
By returning a budget surplus back to Missouri taxpayers.
And let Missouri families spend their money better than politicians.
Because we need to grow our economy, not the size of government.
Tell our state leaders 100 years is long enough.
Visit growmissouri.com to learn more.
Stop spending, start growing.
You'd be loving this, mate, wouldn't you?
Have you witnessed anything like this? Anybody can report this behaviour.
Hey guys, can I get a hand for a sec?
I thought you lesbians were supposed to be as good as us blokes.
No matter how subtle.
Hey princess, where's your tiara today?
They are all forms of sexually based harassment. If you know someone's prejudices have got out of hand or have become inappropriate, do something about it.
Waka waka, who wants to hear a funny-ass joke?
It was a 5-shot revolver. It was loaded. And as she turned her around, she saw more plastic baggies, larger plastic baggies, wedged in the crack of her buttocks.
Welcome back to First Cup for Friday, August 23rd, 2013. I'm your host, Joe Haffner, with you at the controls, recording yet another edition of this program, episode number 5. Won't be long before we'll be in double digits. Of course, I guess if you put a 0 at the front of 5, I'm already in double digits, aren't I? Anyway, let's see what's trending on the World Wide Web and around the world in general. Guys, if you want to look younger, and I suppose this could apply to some women too, because I have seen some women with some facial hair that could give me a run for my money. Want to look younger? Shave the beard. A new survey found that men with beards look around 5 years older than those that are clean-shaven. When people were shown pictures of celebrities with and without facial hair, they said beards made them look on average 5 years older. One of the many reasons why I shaved my beard, actually there weren't that many, I got rid of the beard because, one, it did make me look a little bit older, and two, working with a beard and wearing a beard net at work got to be very, very uncomfortable. And plus, I just prefer the feel of my smooth skin, although it is a little bit leathery at times. Anyway, so if you want to look a little bit younger, get rid of the beard, okay? It's as simple as that. It's time for News of the Weird.
Son of a bitch. Why is this happening?
news items for today. As much as I'm a Star Trek fan, I find this to be very disturbing. What I'm talking about is the website for Illinois' Department of Employment Security allows visitors to translate the website into many different languages. Got no problem with that. But one of the languages is Klingon from Star Trek. More in particular, they called it Kling-Lee in Star Trek lore. The translation was added as a promotion for the latest Star Trek film released last May, Star Trek Into Darkness, but was never taken down. Apparently, it's cost the department nothing to keep up. However, increases in traffic to the website has resulted in positive response, mostly from the public. Really, does the state of Illinois need to promote Paramount, in particular Star Trek? I think Star Trek's got enough momentum on its own. It's been around for, 47 years now? I don't think it's going to go away overnight, all right? I think it's here to stay. But tax dollars at work in Illinois, my friends. Even the replacement refs wouldn't make a call this dumb. Arizona anti-alcohol cops pounced on a dad at a Cardinals NFL preseason game recently after he had his 15-year-old son hold his beer for a moment while Pop took pics. The officers booted the family out of the stadium, and state liquor officials said that if they had been stricter, the Pop could have received 2 years in the slammer. Yeah, really. Here, son, hold my beer for a moment. I want to take a picture. I want to take a picture of this, okay? Now, don't drop it. Man, I think the dumbass of the award of the week goes to this guy. If only there was someone in government he could turn to for help. The mayor of a Jersey Shore community is selling his home because he can't afford his town's sky-high property taxes. There's actually a town named Egg Harbor. Interesting. Egg Harbor, New Jersey. Mayor James Sonny McAuliffe was hit with a $31,000 tax bill. I'll never complain about my taxes again. He says he may move to Florida, where taxes on comparable homes are 1/10 of his in Jersey. Wow, $31,000. Now that's living in style, I'll tell you what. Want to find good music? Well, here's a hint. First, turn off the sound. According to a Harvard researcher, and who would argue with a Harvard researcher? Well, he has discovered that people are better able to guess the winners of classical music competitions by watching silent videos of the performances rather than by listening to the musicians play. What this suggests is that there may be a way that visual information is prioritized, according to Chia Young Tsav, that's the study's author. And here's a good way to make sure your customers love their new hair color. Officials in a Chicago suburb will let beauty salons serve booze to customers. Homer Glen officials say they expect many of the town's 13 salons to start providing libations. Alcohol and hairdressing, I think, is a bad idea. There's a good chance that at some point, some lady's going, "How do you like your new hair?" "Oh, this is horrible." And then go on a drunken tirade about how bad it is. So I don't know. As long as the hairdressers aren't drinking, I guess I would be okay with that. So I don't want some drunk cutting my hair. Finally, a Pennsylvania man who suffers from Lou Gehrig's disease won an essay contest at an Allentown minor league baseball game. And the prize, get this, a free funeral. Steve Paul won after describing his dream funeral. He said, quote, "I'm not a Yankee fan, but I told them to put a number 4 on me." It's a reference to Lou Gehrig's Yankees jersey. All right. And that's News of the Weird for this Friday. It's time now for popular tweets of the day on this Friday. Of course, you heard in the news that Bradley Manning is coming out as transgender, and who saw that coming? I sure didn't. Bradley Manning, soon after his conviction for leaking U.S. government secrets, announced that he wants to be a woman, and we should now call him Chelsea. Needless to say, I've cautiously scrambled to search